Good morning, y'all. To say I was very excited to walk out and see this. That is my very first bloom on this eggplant. I've never grown eggplant before. I don't eat eggplant. Growing this for someone else, but wasn't sure what to expect. Apparently it takes a really long time for an eggplant to grow. I planted these back in maybe the beginning of February, possibly even the end of January. And here we are at the beginning of June, and this is my very first bloom. I don't know if there's a secret to growing these, or possibly me putting this in a container may have slowed it down a little bit, but that is pretty. Super excited. Maybe she'll get it, just one eggplant, but this is Black Beauty eggplant, by the way. All right, on to the next. Ground cherry. See if we can find us ripen. Oh yeah. Oh, that one right too. Oh no, it ain't. Just most of them, if they're ripe, they just fall off in my hand. That one right? No. Okay. Here we go. These are so good. So good. Oh, I think I see one. Look at that. I actually have one that fell off. Highly recommend. I know I say it in every one of them, but these are so good. They're tiny, but ground cherry. The cosmos. Doing very well back there. Bees are loving them. Some of these reseeded on their own. Some of them I planted. I planted a few of these. That's a whole bunch, but here in this area is where I had where my 10 and 12 feet cosmos were last year. So a lot of these just reseeded. Then another sunflower that's supposed to be mammoth, and it's nowhere near it. But they're so pretty. I mean, I really love to grow sunflowers, be it small or large. And that ant sure seems to like it. Pretty. Oh, look at this. Look what I just found. 1, 2, 3. Oh. My cat. Dude. Say hello. Say hi. Yes, say hello. You gonna grab my phone, or you gonna say hi? You're so funny. And one more. Make sure that one's fully. Oh yeah, that's fully ripe. Look at those. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful strawberries. This is the Old North Sea strawberry. These are the ones I ordered from Baker Creek. I think they arrived around April 7th or so. I planted them out on like the 10th or the 11th. And here we are, the very beginning of June, and we have strawberries. Just positively beautiful plants. I know they're not going to last much longer because of the heat, but had to show y'all those. Just, sorry, the sun's behind me. Beautiful, beautiful. It has been such a treat every morning to walk out and see these zinnias blooming. They're so pretty. So pretty. I'm definitely gonna grow these every year from now on. I'm just gonna put a patch of them somewhere. These are just gorgeous. And they grow really quick, and they don't seem to mind the heat. Well, so far, it's not cranked up yet, but it's still 90. I've said all along, I think this mammoth sunflower here is going to be the star of the show. This is the only thing it seems to be able to handle our hot summers. And one little bell pepper. Oh, there's another one on that. So this is sweet chocolate here, and this one's King of the North. Sugar Rush Peach, hot pepper. Buna Malata, purple cayenne. Getting a good bit of blooms on here now. Took a long time though. Probably because I did not top those. My basil is almost entirely to seed. Oh, and look here. I somehow failed to notice this. This is Aji Colorado. I knew there were some on here, but I didn't notice they were that big. There's several more. This thing's loaded with flowers and blooms, and back here, this Aji Cherapita. It's just covered. So excited about this one. I think or at least I hope I've done it a favor by surrounding it where it gets a hint of shade, because this is kind of in the way from the late afternoon sun. All right, Mr. Wasp, chill out. Trying to keep my distance from the wasps. They basically hang out on these stakes and eat bugs. So I try to leave them alone so they help me out. Plus I'm allergic to them, don't want to make them mad. So my cucumbers here are at the end. I knew, that they weren't gonna do very much. It gets so hot here so fast, we really don't have the spring weather to grow cucumbers. However, I'm about to make my second jar of pickles, and it's going to be a pretty big jar. But what I will do is I will replant these again in about a month, and I will get a whole bunch in the fall. These. So this is 2 plants that someone brought me, that someone gave her. Don't know what kind these are. I believe the girl said that they were a slicer, but that you could harvest them small and pickle them. So I think there's only a couple on there. And then my munchers, you can tell they've about had it. They're not happy at all with this heat. Got a few left on here, still growing. I'll pull these out probably in the next. I'm gonna let these couple finish growing. There's a few more on here. I don't think I've seen another, I don't think I've even seen another flower on here in the past few days. They really don't like this heat, so. And then my green beans that I could never get to do anything have taken off. And I'm hoping some green beans actually sprout up before these things die, because I also know that they can't take the heat. And I'll also replant these probably mid-July, maybe the end of July, and I'll get a huge harvest in the fall. It's always kind of a, I don't want to say a crapshoot, but it kind of is, because you don't know if they're going to grow or not, because our springs are really about 6 weeks long, and then our heats turn to hell. And then my watermelons here, I know I haven't even been showing this bed, because I just can't get anything to bloom. They're at least starting to put on flowers now, but that's it. None of the flowers seem to be getting pollinated, even with me doing it by hand. So I have no idea what to... This is the first time this has happened to me, so. But I'm still not good at growing watermelon. These green beans, these are the dragon tongue. These are, Kentucky pole bean, I believe, is what these two are. And then those are dragon tongue bush bean. They're definitely about done, but they have quite a large amount of beans on there that I'm just trying to let get a little bit bigger. Maybe another day or two at the most, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull all these out as well. They clearly don't like this heat, and I can't blame them. I don't like it either. Oh, that's a really pretty one. Yeah, I'll leave that for just one more day and get these on out of here. Listen, I just stuck it in here to try to put a little shade back for the green beans. I've regretted pulling those carrots up. I should have just left them. They really did provide, nice shade for the beans and for the watermelons too. My bee balm is finally taken off now that it's not covered by the shade of the carrots. Oh yeah. Oh, and that is bachelor buttons right there. Finally about to bloom. These Queen Sophia marigolds are so pretty. So pretty. I'm not sure how that's, let's see. Okay. And these flowers last a long time. It's just one bloom after another popping open. Just beautiful. Wish I'd grown a lot more of these. I will next year. The bees love them. Just gorgeous. So pretty. Beautiful flowers. Something I've never filmed or even talked about are plum trees. These are beautiful. Not entirely sure this is ripe. Looks right, but it still feels a little hard. Ooh. And Mr. Wasp wants to be in my way. So these put on a lot of blooms back in February because it was so warm, and then we had a couple of late frost. Well, a couple of 24-degree nights, in mid-March, and they wiped them out. But a few actually managed to hang on. This is the same thing that happened last year too. But these, that one's supposed to be a golden plum, and the other one behind me is supposed to be a Bruce plum. I believe they're both Bruce plums. They look identical. But anyway, these trees are supposed to get 10 foot tall and 10 foot wide. We got the 10 foot tall, 10 feet tall, done. Now it just needs to expand. And that's probably all my fault. But this, I still think it's a little hard. It's beautiful. No question about that. But I think I'm going to let it sit for a day or two before I bite into it. But I tell you what, this Bruce plum, best plum I've ever had in my life. I was completely blown away by the flavor of this. It almost tastes like a banana. I know that probably doesn't make sense, but it has like a banana flavor to it. It's superb. So if you've always wanted to grow plums, Bruce plum tree, I know you can get them at Lowe's. They're about $30 each. Beautiful plums and delicious. Highly, highly recommend. My tomatoes. This monkey ass plant is well, it's well over 8 feet now. Doesn't have any fruit on it. It actually was at least 7 foot before it put on its first tomato, which could possibly be my fault. Probably is my fault, honestly. But it does have some. They look like walnuts. Don't they look like walnuts to y'all? They're shaped like a walnut. It's got a few on it. Some, near the top. But I just tied this sucker up, and just in the last few days, it's already grown another. That's at least a foot. Then old Abe Lincoln. My trusty Abe plant has, for whatever reason, suddenly decided to start growing again. And not only has it grown about a foot this past week, look at that. We have some new flower buds. Strangest thing I've ever seen involving a tomato plant stunted for an entire month. You can see the leaves all curled up. Felt sure it was on death's door. I was waiting for these to ripen up so I could pull them. And then I was going to pull the plant out, because I've planted, I have more tomato seeds sown, for new plants for the fall. We have enough time here to grow 2 rounds of them, and I didn't plant any cherry tomatoes this spring, so you can see at least one starting to ripen. Nice sandwich-sized tomatoes too. And these two that have been on this plant for at least 2 months, about that big, have also suddenly started growing. So this is a great sign. I'm very happy about this. I don't know what that noise is. It's right where that blue is. There's a road right there. So they're doing something on that road. So I apologize. I hope y'all can hear me. Anyway, Streets of Broken Lanterns. I'm really excited about this tomato. If I get even one, I'll be happy with that. My fault for putting it in this tiny plant. And for thinking it was a cherry and that it wouldn't get tall. But I put a stake up for it a couple of days ago. Got it tied up there. It managed to split on me, but I let it. I saw it and I just let it go. Once I figured out that this is not a cherry and it's a quite cool looking tomato. This is that Russian variety that I only found on 3 websites. KBX. Massive plant. Entirely my fault. But with massive tomatoes on it. Very few. Very, very few. But they're big. And there's 2 more new ones growing right there. So these should be ripe like within the week. Um, and then my unassuming Black Beauty plant that you can't even see a single tomato until you walk up to it. It's loaded, completely loaded with tomatoes all the way up. Harvested my first 2 off of this. The first one was absolutely delicious. This is so worth waiting on. It's taken me, this is my 2nd season trying to grow this. Couldn't be, happier. Hazel May, notoriously greedy plant. The entire plant has 2 tomatoes on it. Now granted, that sucker is definitely over a pound. And then that one's gonna be close to a pound if it doesn't hit it. And then we have one little new flower. Oh, well, wait a minute, here we go. There's a couple more, okay. They will need to hurry up and become tomatoes if they're going to, because they'll all be shutting down here in a few weeks as soon as our temps really crunch. Like today, it's going to be 91 and going to feel like 96 or so because of the humidity. So we're there. Thankfully, I have so much fruit already on. Now I'm just waiting for it to ripen, and then I'll spend the next 2 months doing whatever it takes to keep my plants alive. But in the event that I don't manage to do that, right there are where my new tomato starts are. And I can still plant more now. Moonlight Mile, love this plant. Love this beautiful variegation on the leaves. I just love this. Prolific. It has tomatoes all over it. Also harvested my first 2 or 3. I'll show you in a minute why I say 2 or 3. And then poor little Anna's Nor, aka Black Pineapple. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll put on some more fruit and maybe give me something in the fall. But if it dies on me, that's fine. Like I said, I've got more planted for some fall tomatoes. And so here are my fall, not growing many, 4 varieties. I did restart that Streets of Broken Lanterns just because it's so cool, and I really want to put it in one of these 20-gallon grow bags or even in a garden bed to give it the full chance to see what it can do. Black Creme, I've had this for a couple of years. I've just never grown it yet. So I went ahead and planted it. And then these are cherries, Purple Perfection and Black Vernissage. Yeah, I mean, they look really good so far. In fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little boost of fertilizer already. Just some, fish emulsion to get them growing good and healthy. And now here, when I say I've harvested 2.5, I knew from the beginning that this thing was stuck together. And, this part's not quite ripe. But this is very ripe. And if I'd have left it, this would be rotten. So I just went ahead and pull it, and I'm going to let it finish ripening in the house. That spot right there, that's where there was a limb there, and I had to cut it when these were very small because I knew this would either be smashed into the limb, around the limb, or possibly it would have, just rotted out there. So I just went ahead and cut the limb, but you can see it's still kind of dug into it. But that's all right. And I can see that beautiful green, I don't know if y'all can see, the beautiful green striping in it that the description said to begin with. You can just see just little weird patches of green. Just really, really pretty tomato. And this thing's delicious. Definitely sweet. That might be one of the sweetest tomatoes, actually, that I've ever tasted personally. Black Beauty. Harvested this one a few minutes ago. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And it's very soft here on the bottom, but as you can tell, it's not quite ripe. But that's all right. I'll stick it on the counter, and in 2 or 3 days, she will be ready to make a sandwich out of. Love these. Had my first one yesterday. Delicious. It's definitely, it meets all the hype that I've heard about it. Plus, it's just beautiful. As y'all can probably tell right now, I love the purple heavy or the anthracene-filled tomatoes. Really like those, and I really like I like them all, but I like those, and I like the big yellow ones. And yeah, I really can't wait to dig my teeth into this. So anyway, okay, I guess that's gonna be it for this week. Yeah, so happy gardening, y'all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. One last thing I just found. I think my hibiscus are finally going to blossom for the first time ever. You can see those little buds. Oh, I'm excited. I've been waiting since 2021 for this. I think I mentioned in another video, they grow. They usually just do this and then nothing else. So I guess it takes a while for them to get established. But that's if I can see them, a whole lot of little blooms right there. So I'm really, really excited for this. Can't wait to see that. Okay, see y'all later.